With COPD, no, we can't cure it. It's not like a cough or a cold. It's like a lot of other problems as we get older, our arthritis, diabetes, thyroid disease. But we can make an awful lot of difference.
If you think of the amount of time you have contact with a healthcare professional, it's probably less than 1 day a year. So for the other 364 days of the year, you have to manage your disease.
If you can use these self-management techniques to take control of your disease, that means that you don't have to rely on other people, you don't have to go and see your GP, you won't need to go to hospital as often, you'll be able to manage those situations where your symptoms get a little bit worse, and we know that there is some variation from day to day and week to week in symptoms, and periods when your symptoms are worse, you'll be able to recognise those and know what to do yourself rather than having to ask others for help.
For a few years I was in hospital 9 times a year for 9 and 10 days. Since I've learnt about the self-management and dealing with the exacerbations, I've been in once in 18 months, and I think that speaks for itself.
Sometimes you've got to be quite upfront and say, well, actually, this is fairly rubbish, but let's get on with things despite it. And there are people who manage extremely well with COPD and their partners who travel the world despite having to take medication with them, sometimes oxygen, sometimes all the limitations. Don't let it limit you. You can do what you want to do. You just have to think about it a little bit more in advance and perhaps plan it a little more carefully.
Went to Italy. I had 10 days in Italy. For his 40th anniversary, I've always wanted to do a cruise. We did a cruise. I've been to Spain for the last 2 years. I'm going back. And if you find a way to do something, a way that suits you to do something, you can do it.
So you may have noticed that you're not able to do the things that you would like to do, for example, the gardening and attending the allotment. And actually with the right treatment and the right information, these are things that you can do and that you should aim to do. So set yourself targets, set yourself goals that you want to be able to do. Let us know what things you enjoy doing, and so we've got something to aim towards with you.
Have goals. I have goals. I've got a garden. It's in the backyard. It is all in pots. I call it my 5-minute garden because I do something for 5 minutes and I sit down for 15. I do something else, I sit down. It's taken me weeks and weeks to get the garden done. But the flowers didn't know. Self-management means that I have control of my illness. My illness doesn't control me.
Made my mind up right from day one that I wasn't going to let it defeat me. And I think you've got to do that. Because it's not a rehearsal, this is life.
It's important to me to have this control over this illness.
Some of the changes you might need to make may be quite big for you. So, for example, if you're a smoker, giving up smoking would be a real challenge. But many of the other things are quite simple things that are probably things you've done in the past, like taking regular exercise, going out for walks, making sure you eat a healthy diet, controlling your weight. And each of those small things individually add up to a big impact on your health.
Getting the best out of yourself is working out what you want to be doing and trying to get as close to that as you can, if not beating it.
You know, lots of people say to us they've got their lives back, which seems incredibly dramatic. But I guess if you have a long-term condition that you feel is restricting your life and restricting your choices about your life, then it can be quite liberating to have those choices back and be in control and do the basic tasks that you want to be able to do.
Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because ultimately you'll find a way.